Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Funday, Valentine's Funday live stream. I hope everyone's doing well so far in this Valentine's. For those of you who are spending times with someone you care about, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And for those of you out there who are doing it solo lone wolf, I hope you're also having a wonderful day. But we all get to hang out together today and have a good time. The dogs say hi, as you can tell. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm just going to finish this dart, and then we're going to go sit down in the little jam space there, and I'll start saying hi to everyone. It's a brisk -3 to -5 here in British Columbia, Canada, where I am right now. There are subtle, tiny snowflakes with no actual snow on the ground. Oh, right. Let's go back to the very beginning here and say hi to everybody. Okay, well, it's only getting me or letting me go back to a certain point. So, what's happening, Einstein? What's happening, Greens and 373 Steel? What's happening, Happy Do Grows? Good to see you, Jay Green. What's happening, Greens and 373 Steel? Good to see you, Charles Hankins. Hello. All right. All right. Charles Hankins says, nothing sitting at my new cabin freezing. My wife kicked me out. Kids are in shock. Oh, shit. Are you okay, buddy? I am really sorry to hear that. I hope you're all right. At least you have a place to go, my friend. What's happening, Indy McGowan? Good to see you. Greens 373 Steel. Oh, wait, that's responding to that. What's up, Nicole? Good to see you. Wake and Bake Fred Fury. Good to see you. -23 there. Yeah, we're not that cold right now. We're like -3 to -5. I'm just reading everybody. What's up, Eugene Dolan? Good to see you. Alter M. Good to see you. Ganjanana, your mama. Hello, hello. All right. Jamie Matthews, good to see you. I'm glad you're okay there, Charles. The Coffee Growers, what's up, Grow Fam? What's up with you, my friend? Oi, mate, it's -9 degrees here in Texas. Freezing balls. Hopefully, girls will stay strong. Yeah, I feel you, Mickey D. And at the end of the day, it is actually right now colder in Texas than it is where I am. Now, I do live in this weird bubble of Canada that never gets that cold, to be completely frank. What's up, Handy F? How's it going? What's up, Clay S? What's up, Yada B710 Gaming? Don't worry, we'll be inside in 2 seconds and we'll really get the show going in 2 seconds. What's up, Patrick Kelly? Good to see you, my friend. Oh, man, I've been spending the afternoon so far kind of going through some of my seed collection and transferring a lot of stuff into glass and making a list and actually, organizing it for once. I never do that, so it's been something I've been meaning to do for quite some time. And we're getting around to it. What's up, Brandon Ashley? What's up with you? Just chilling, getting the show started. We're going to be inside in 2 seconds there. I'm just having a quick dart before we kick it off there. I kept cataloging beans, and then I was like, oh, crap, I got 3 minutes to my show. Oh, man. Yeah, it's only going to be a partial catalog today because a bunch of my stuff is at my other place in Vancouver there, so I got to bring that all together. Everybody say hi to Mr. Potsquatch on Valentine's Day. Say hi. Say hi, Mr. Potsquatch.
Hi. How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Happy Valentine's Day. Dr. Weedman?
What's up, Dr. Weedman?
Dr. Weedman!
The dog say hello too. All right, now let's head over into the living rooms, the jamming spaces here, and we'll get the show going. All right, as you can see, I've been going through and cataloging things. It's been fun. But, it's one important thing to do. I do encourage everyone out there when you're storing your seed collections and you're going through, keeping an actual tangible list. Transferring things into glass is always a good idea, especially for long-term storage. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. Not to the beginning, but where we left off there. What's up, Julio from Denver? Good to see you, my friend. Enrique Hernandez, good to see you as well. Ganjanani, your mama says hello to you. Charles Hankins says hello to you. What's up, Jason Sandoval? Good to see you, happy guy. Reverend Veritas, happy Valentine's Day to you too. Sorry. Bit of pizza stuck in my teeth. All right. At the end of the day, Coffee Growers, we do technically offer video consults as a thing you can grab on our store, but as everyone has known, our store's been broken for about 9 months, 6 to 9 months. Anyway, I'm happy to give you a quick shout sometime Maybe not today, but I definitely have time tomorrow. So if you want to send me an email to potsquatch420@gmail.com, I'll pencil you in there for a video call tomorrow, and I'll give you a shout. What's up, Tennessee Genetics, my friend? Hello, good to see you. How are you doing? What's up, Red Claus? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. What's up, Easy Money? What's up? What's up with you, man? How's it going? What's up, Roman Reckless? How you doing? Good to see you. Jason LeCount, good to see you. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Clay S, I want a real hash plant. Yeah, a true hash plant's amazing. I mean, it's hard to find in bean form now. To find a true hash plant is almost impossible in terms of beans. For me, I always access it via getting clones, actually. But I do have a few supposed hash type plant things. I've also got a bunch of land races I've recently acquired that comes from that the general region that sort of hash planty things would have come from, right? So if I can get a meal out of that, maybe I can, just grab one of those clones and make them have sex. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we come up with a new age hash plant that's like old school hash plant, but new age hash plant, but taste right. You know what I'm saying? All right. What's up, Stony Baker MD? Good to see you, my friend. What's happening? What's up, Dr. Weedman? Good to see you. Hi, 2-71. Good to see you. Dennis Graham. What's happening? I hope you're having a beautiful Valentine's Day, my friend. Welcome to the show. All right. Dr. Weedman, just the conscience on your mama. And no worries at all to coffee growers. Yes, I've gone to None of Your Mama. That link is the new link. It's the dedicated CBD sales portal website for our CBD line. What's up, Romy? It's good to see you. Stony Baker MD, good to see you. So anyway, at the end of the day, for those of you wondering, yes, not only do we have the new dedicated CBD website up, it is a fucking thing. It's just us, not other people's shit, just our shit. Which at the end of the day, I'm actually quite happy about. Because at the end of the day, I always had mixed feelings about people who I didn't know having their products on a website that my products are being sold on, at least when it's my exclusive start-off sales portal. So I always felt a little worried about that, but we've got a dedicated one now. We're actually currently right now releasing 3 more products at once. So we're going to be doing the gummies, the gel tabs, and I mean, I wasn't going to do the beard oil for a long time because it seemed like a silly, stupid novelty item to me. But it turns out many of you have reached out to me saying, no, we would want a beard oil. So at the end of the day, we will be releasing that as well with the other new products. Mickey D, our genetics will not be available until we go fully legal. It will be a number of years, realistically speaking, to be completely honest with you. One, got to get the money together. It's going to cost Uncle Potsquatch anywhere from $500,000 to $900,000 to go legal in Canada to become a seed producer. Not to mention, it's going to take some time to develop things. And at the end of the day, with the way Health Canada works, it takes forever. But I made the decision a while back to go fully legal and to go into the den of the beast in terms of our genetics brand, because one, no company in the world really is doing that right now. Everyone, globally speaking, for the most part, is completely gray zone. Whether they think they're legal in their local state or local place, they're not. And so Uncle Potsquatch is going into the den of the beast, and we're going to take a gamble, but we're going to spend our lives developing new genetics to come for people. So might as well do it that way. But it will take some time. At the end of the day, we will be, the day we move into Lab 2, beginning to start working on the breeding project, which will be the company. The great thing is with my current licensing, I can develop everything for fucking market right now still. We just can't physically sell it as a company until we can afford to get all the licensing done. So that's one of the things that we're working towards here at Potsquatch Growers. One of the many and sundry items, or quote-unquote balls I'm trying to roll up a hill at once. But we'll get there, my friends. So one day, Mickey D, we're going to be able to help you out. And then we're going, once we go in, it's always going to be there, man. You know what I'm saying? All right. What's up, Jeremiah Sanchez? Good to see you, my friend. All right. 1 second here. I'm trying to read. I am well, Jeremiah. How are you, my friend? What's up, Greens at 373 Steel? Squatch, what is the best way for me to store my seeds? I'm assuming not in a baggie, in a dresser drawer. Great question to ask because I'm personally in the actual process of switching things out of different containers, different little baggies. The best way to store your seeds, okay? One, you can use a UV graded glass. It is not required if you keep it in a container, okay? I will show you the containers I use for long-term storage. They are not UV graded or protected because, again, I keep them in a box after I put them in a glass jar. So I use these glass jars. They've got a plastic top with a moisture seal, okay? Non-reactive. That is the perfect way in terms of the container to store our beans in. So we store in glass. And typically speaking, you know, I'm a bigger fan of storing my stuff just at general room temperature, to be completely honest with you. If some would say for long-term storage, you should put it into a freezer or you should put it into a fridge, all of which are very valid options. I've personally, over 20 plus years of storing and working with seed, never had issue sort of, you know, taking care of keeping it at room temperature. I mean, the one thing is, the big part in my mind is keeping it away from light, keeping it at a fairly steady temperature ongoing over time. Whether you choose something cooler or more of a room temperature, it doesn't matter, but keep that kind of a median, a happy median. You don't want those fluctuations there in temperature because that's going to freak out the genetic material within your seed. And again, we store in glass, it's non-reactive. And that's kind of my 2 cents on that one, and that's how I go about it. So I hope that helps. Yes. All right. What's happening, Big Gay? Good to see you. What's up, Aaron Smith in the house, my friend? All right. Yeah, you know, and the funny thing is the coffee growers is like legal pot in Canada is extremely expensive too. Like, I mean, you do not want to know what they charge at the store. That's why Uncle Potsquatch has always been at the forefront of the grow your own movement and advocates strongly for those of us at home who choose to all over the world to be able to grow our own and to do our own stuff. That's why we do lights. That's why we're doing genetics. Okay, because at the end of the day, most companies, especially the big ones, are not going to be really giving you the true weed. Okay, and how do you know where your weed came from? Well, you grow it. How do you know what's in your weed? Well, you grow it. Plus, at the end of the day, if you fall in love with growing, like most of us do, I think that's why most of us are here talking, you know what I'm saying? It really becomes kind of a passion. It's adult arts and crafts. It's a hobby. It's good for mental health. I mean, there's a lot to it, really. So at the end of the day, I'm a big advocate for the grow your own movement, always have been. I grow my own, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna go buy weed from somebody if I don't have to, right? So, but at the end of the day, that's also a big part of kind of what we do as a company now, and what all of the initiatives that we're working on kind of try to play into that. Oh, Ray. 1 second here. No, I'm just trying to read. You could totally store them in the underwear drawer. That's actually one of the classical places where, for example, like I've had a lot of friends who've had family members who've passed away, and they call me like, "Oh, can you come help us?" You know, kind of pack up their house and get stuff together and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised. Usually underwear drawers tucked at the back, in attics tucked away in some weird cigar box. Sometimes in garages, but usually like in attics or tucked away in these weird old drawers is where you find some of those old school genetics. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, Aaron Ayuri? How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Hey, no worries. Have a good rest, and thank you for tuning in just to say hi, and you can check it out tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day at work tomorrow, my friend. All right. Roman Reckless says, I flipped my 2 gelatos, 3 Karma Sour Diesels, and my staple 1 Critical Plus 2.0, and then flipped Saturday, the double rack for my 5x5. I'm excited. Can't wait to fly with the new light. I can't wait for you to fly with it too. Please send some pictures once they start taking off, because I do truly enjoy watching people having fun with growing weed titties, and then at the same time, I mean, it's nice seeing people use our tech, man. You know what I'm saying? It makes one's heart glow, you know. Advanced nutrients are by and large, at least in terms of a BC or Canadian standpoint, probably the main go-to nutrient system out there. I don't use them. I find them slightly overpriced for what they are. And at the end of the day, I actually prefer Green Planet Nutrients to Advanced line. I think they make a superior product. I think it works better. I think the plants like it more. It's easier to flush out. And at the end of the day, too, just slightly more affordable. Not to mention they're a local company doing good work, right? So I like to support local when I can, especially being a Canadian. You know, we're not a huge country in terms of population, so there's more people in California. So at the end of the day, advanced nutrients is one of the main go-tos. A lot of the guys here do them. Not a bad nutrient line at all. Works really well. It's not what I use, and I would not pay for it personally, but that's because I don't personally like it. But again, you got to remember, most high-end nutrient systems are fairly similar. You know, there are always going to be subtle deviations between them, you know. But at the end of the day, like, let's talk about a basic three-part. Three parts of three-part of three-part. I mean, there's not like, there's a company out there that's kind of made this groundbreaking breakthrough. Anyone who tells you that, like, tries to say, oh, this one three-part is so much better than this other three-part from this company is a fucking idiot. Because at the end of the day, they're all basically the same shit to a point. But it's kind of like trucks, right? Some people like GM Theach, some people like Ford, some people like Dodge, some people like Chevy, right? And so it's kind of like, you know, pick your new system you like and roll with it. Uncle Potsquatch is a Green Planet guy, and that's my happy place. But, you know, that's me. Hope that helps, by the way, Julio from Denver. What's up, Stagger? Good to see you, my friend. Ganjanati, your mama says. Oh, she talking to someone else. That's all good. All right. No, so Canasib Genetics, I'm against using humidity packs. Definitely not in your career. It destroys your weed. It makes them taste and smell like shit. If we're talking about extreme long-term storage, I guess you could do it. But I would be a bigger fan of nailing the moisture levels in my jars. Once I've been burping for a while, I'm going to throw that into a cold cure and keep it in the fridge just a little bit above zero. And that's how I'm going to long-term store things. I think it's better to try to nail the perfect moisture level in your cannabis for when we dry trim and then jar it. The only real use in my mind for one of those packs is, I guess, if you have some super dry shit, you're trying to kind of bring some humidity or moisture back into it. Sure, I guess you could use it that way. It's not going to be a perfect product, but it wasn't a perfect product to begin with because it's too dry now, right? So I guess that's an acceptable use for them. And you can use it for long-term storage if you want. It's not really my ideal cup of tea, personally speaking. I know they're very popular in the industry, and I'm not saying you can't use them, but I don't, and I wouldn't. Like, for example, if it was a batch of cannabis that I was entering into a cannabis cup, do you think I would ever let it touch a humidity pack? Fuck no. That would never happen. But again, my 2 cents on this, and I am a craft grower, I'm a boutique grower, I'm a medical grower. My goal is to produce the best around, right? So certain things for me personally speaking are a no-no. But again, that's just my approach and my thoughts on it. I have played with them a bunch over time. I've always found they suck. Stony Baker MD. What are these 30-year-old beans? You want to trade? I want some. I love old beans. Old beans are like a wonderful blast from the past. It's one of my favorite things ever. Hi, Mrs. Potsquatch. Is everything okay? You doing okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Anyway, back to the show. Bum, bum, bum. Greens and through. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I'm just trying to digest the information that are being fed by people. For those of you who are new here, you will see that the first link that Nicole has shared there is where you're going to find our CBD line. The second link, that's where you're going to go buy your very own Squatch lighting systems with the most affordable, professional-grade tech around. And we're the only company that designs things to not only be fixed, but be upgraded as well. We are growers building lights for growers. We're really, basically, my humble 2 cents, the only true option out there because we give a shit. And a lot of the other companies, that's not, you are a dollar sign to them. Yes, we are a business. Yes, we do make money. But a part of our passion piece is empowering people and equipping you with the shit you need to be successful and take care of yourself. That's also why, even though we're smaller companies with less purchasing power, we're still cheaper than they are and use better parts. Why? Well, because our approach is we don't need to gouge you on the rig. We're going to design it to be fixable and upgradable. Because at the end of the day, that's how you serve your customer, in my humble 2 cents, and empower the cannabis people around the world. But, some call us mad, but, they're usually the ones that hate us for doing well. So, what's up, Gregory Allen Reed? Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. And then, yes, the point that Ganja Nani, your mama, is sharing, everyone, is a very valid point. We do have a Facebook group. It is a safe place for all people. All colors, all political orientations, all sexual orientations, gender orientations, identifications. It is a safe place for all, okay? The main real rule is don't be a dick fuck, don't be an asshole. Treat people with respect and keep your own personal crap at the door. That's why we don't really talk about politics. We don't talk about any of these loaded issues that could become a source of segregation or fighting in our community. We just leave that at the door, okay? So if you want to come be a part of a community that's a safe place for all people, that loves growing weed, that loves standing and helping each other learn, great. If you show up and you're an arrogant douchebag, well, I'll probably more than likely be the one personally giving you the boot, also publicly calling you out about it. Normally don't like doing that. We've only had to do it about 8 times in the history of the group being existing. Really, it's a really wonderful place. I can't believe we haven't had more troubles, actually. But it's a safe place. You got to respect people, and that includes yourself too, by the way. But everyone's welcome. Answer the fucking questions though, because if you don't answer them, we can't let you in, and then we got to find you. Be like, please answer the questions. It takes you an extra half a second in terms of applying to the group. So please answer those questions. It just makes our life 1,000 times easier. Much love back to you, Romies. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, no, I just don't use them Roman reckless, right? And at the end of the day, as people know, I have very particular ideas in certain things, and that's just me. Stony Baker MD. I mean, of course, we have known since the first time we've ever talked about legalization that there was going to be a corporate move, a government move, there was going to be taxes, right? I've never been against it being taxed either, by the way. I'm actually in support of taxes that make sense. But at the end of the day, like, for example, the issue with the legalization of cannabis in Canada is all the people who voted in, like myself, the people who've spent their lives learning the ways of the weed titty force and wanted to go into the business, we got priced out. And it was sold up as a monopoly to the rich and powerful. But they keep failing. I mean, let's take a look at actual legalization in Canada for the last 2 years. Every single quarter, companies lose money. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been lost because of their choice to lock us out. So really, we just got to stick to what we do and just wait for an inclusive industry to come about. It's already happening here in certain provinces in Canada. In 2022, there's a new farm-to-table legislature that will happen. Anyone who possesses any form of legal license, I'm pretty sure even like a micro nursery can do this, will be allowed to sell fresh farm-to-table cannabis. You don't need to irradiate it or spray it with chemicals, which is what they used to make us have to do in Canada. It is kind of a newfound respect for craft cannabis and allowing us into the industry. It's still far too expensive to start. We really do need to address that because the startup costs of starting this type of a company should not be $500,000 to $1 million for a craft boutique setup. That's just complete bullshit. That's corporate greed, government greed, and also a control mechanism, really, right there. So that needs to still be addressed. But again, look at the prohibition of alcohol. It took 10 to 15 years for us to figure that one out. So you know what? We just got to be patient and keep on rocking. I mean, hell, at least we're doing a little bit better here in Canada. There's still a lot of countries around the world where people are persecuted. Like marijuana is this evil, horrible drug. And that's part of why we, the Potsquatch Growers Army around the world, will stand and fight for everyone's right to medical cannabis, recreational cannabis, to grow their own cannabis. It's a fucking goddamn plan. Okay? Okay. Anyway, moving on. But yeah. Let's read here. John Boarding, sup, Uncle Squatch. How important is an exhaust fan in a tent? Can you get away without one? You can. One thing you got to make sure, though, John Boarding, is if you're not having an exhaust running, you got to make sure to watch your relative humidity like a hawk. And if you don't have an exhaust, not a huge deal. Even most tents, if you're running a positive pressure, it'll leak out. They'll have some form of basic exhaust, but you're going to really need to run or watch your relative humidity levels on that one, okay? And hopefully you're at least bringing some form of exterior air in there at least to do something. But technically speaking, let's be honest, do you need an intake or an exhaust? No. The first plants I grew on this channel, I did with a light and a couple of fans. That's it, in a closet. So, I mean, there are ways around it, right? But we got to watch certain things and keep our eyes open, okay? But air movement in general is kind of like the main thing to do. Well, check out our double squash racks, Tristan Long. They work quite well, my friend. Well, exactly. And that's the thing, Stony Baker MD. The people who know weed, the people you want running the companies, the people you want growing weed for you in your community are the people who were deemed criminals, who were deemed the illegals, the black market. Funny joke is, we just farmers. We like weed. Like when most of us not like dangerous criminals, we're not killers, we're not bad, you know. It's actually just us being us. We love the weed, you know. And but government will label you one thing for a long time. But the world is slowly coming around, my friends, and we'll get there. All right, let me read here. All right. One second, I'm reading. Yeah, but see, Reverend Veritas, my point in terms of a pH perfect formula, think about that for a second. The fact that it claims it can do that is a scary chemical composition right there, but no, I'm not a fan of Remo newts. I find them far too hot and vastly overrated, but that's just me. Not my thing. Green Planet is the best nutrient system I've personally come across over the years. I love their products. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by them. I pay full price for everything I buy. I'm telling you this because one, it's what I like. Two, it's my honest opinion. Three, it's also what I still use years later after making the switch. So, I mean, there you go. Nice. How did it turn out, Tristan Lan? Ooh, beautiful. How do the wheat titties smell? TJ, good afternoon, Potsquatch. You should be a guy green middleman for the U.S. since they don't ship to the U.S. What? Green Planet? Green Planet's available all over the world. It's available on Amazon. It does ship to the U.S. It ships to the Australias. And I don't do Gaia Green, though. I don't like their products. I haven't really tried them much, so it's not that I don't like them. I should change what I said. I haven't tried them enough to have an opinion. However, I found what works for me, and I'm quite happy with my Green Planet stuff. So, I mean, I don't really feel the need to personally make a switch. But, like I've talked about for Lab 2, we will be taking requests for certain reviews of certain products and certain things. So, what we will do going forward on the channel is, like, if there's a new nutrient system you want to see us use, or if a company out there wants us to try their nutrient system, we are happy to do so. But no, I will be comparing it to what I'm already using. So if you believe in your products out there, companies, feel free to send them. I'm happy to try them. I will be honest, I will be fair, and I will be scientific to it. But at the end of the day, you're going up against a very good company, which is the Green Planet Nutrient line. But anyway, at the end of the day, I don't really work for other people too. If anything, we're going into our own garden supply store online. We build our own stuff. That's always how I've done things. So we will actually more than likely be carrying Green Planet. We've actually started the process, but until we get the new lab going, it's not really like I'm not in a place to kind of start bringing in nutrients for sale on the website yet. I have to fix our payment portal. We've been through 8 companies. We're on the 9th now, trying to get approved to just be allowed to do business. Even though we don't sell weed or anything like that, it's fine. But, I mean, that's the puritanistic nature of the current industry. But we will probably bring in other companies' nutrient lines in the long run because at the end of the day, just because I like something doesn't mean that's what you have to buy. I should, if you want advanced, we'll bring in some advanced for you. If you want Gaia Green, we'll bring in some Gaia Green for you. But we will be starting with Green Planet because, again, at the end of the day, I'm going to have to pay for all the shit to bring it in to the store. So I'm going to bring in what I know works first. Bum, 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 bum. 1 second here, everybody. I'm just reading. What's up, the Quiet Witch? Good to see you. No, it's all good, girl. Don't even worry about it, man. It's cool. What's that, Stony Baker MD? Well, if it looks like a fern and it's a pot plant, it definitely has some form of lineage in Freak Show, would assume. What's up, LST UK Big Bud? Good to see you, my friend. Okay. I'm still interested, Stony. I'm still interested. Mother Tree, Maine. Okay. Hey, brother, I just picked up Armor C and HydroGuard. If you could speak on those, I'm assuming HydroGuard is pretty safe all the time. I've actually never used the products, and I'm unaware of the product. So, Mother Tree Maine, if you want to send me an email to a link to the product, I'm happy to take a look at it. Obviously, that will be merely me taking a look at what the information they provide on the product and giving my professional opinion on it. I can't really give a definitive opinion on something until I get my hands on it and play with it. But I have never used those products personally speaking, so I can't speak to them. But that's where the great thing is the community is. There's a bunch of us. In the Facebook group, we're maybe about 760 people now, 770 people, something like that. But there's over almost 22,000 of us around the world through the YouTube community that many of us identify as Potsquatches. We're all here to help each other. And at the end of the day, many people here may have experience with some of these products that I have yet to play with. And at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a bit of a curmudgeon. So unless someone sends me something with a specific request to try something, I usually don't. But I'm happy to and give my honest 2 cents. 1 second, breathing. That's true, everybody. The Quiet Witch has started her first ever weed plant. Very first one. What did you start, the Quiet Witch? Sorry, could you, what do you mean wake and bake, Fred Fury? I'm confused now. One second here, everybody. I'm trying to absorb everything very quickly. Sounds good, Canastebe Genetics, my friend. Yes, so Ganjanani your mama, typically how I approach seed, okay, is I do a 48-hour soak. There are a lot of people on the internet go, oh, if you leave it past 24 hours, that seed's going to rot. Nope, you're a fucking idiot. That's bullshit. A properly cured, developed seed is not going to rot after 48 hours of sitting in water. That's just ludicrous. And if it does, it was never going to pop in the first place. So typically what I do with my seeds is I'll soak them for 24 hours. If I come back after 24 hours and that seed's still floating, not a bad thing. And also when I was drinking, like a big thing, like, oh, it's not viable, it's not viable. Nope, you're a fucking retard. That's not true. What is actually happening is it hasn't broken down the little opening for that actual water to go in and activate the genetic material. So what do? I just sit there and I'll keep tapping it till it sinks. And I'll sit there and I'll just gently tap the seed until it finally, that's helping to break down that barrier. Moisture goes in, oxygen leaves, and it goes down. I'll leave it for another 24 hours. And then I do paper towels in my plates, my little plastic bag over it with a little slit in it. I've been doing it the same way since I was 13, 14 years old, and it's never failed me. Is it simplistic? Sure, but fuck, it works. So Ganjanana, your mama, if it's still floating after 24 hours, just go tap, 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 and then you'll be good to go. Thank you, John Bolding. Much appreciated, my friend. Welcome. Okay. 1 second here. Okay, I'm going to go really fast here. Don't use Miracle Grow, Roderick. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Okay. I'm going to stop and answer it. It is, Stony. It is just actually over the way. I can get there in about a little over an hour. It's over in Surrey, I believe. Just a marginal head there, Joe. And then I've got that running through a German Behringer. Sorry, I'm just trying to play really quick catch up here. No, never tried that brand, nor have I heard of them. Canna UK Genetics. Yeah, so for my silica needs, I just do diatomaceous earth. I don't need to go buy something fancy. I buy a giant ass bag of the shit, and it'll last you a good long time. Dude, I'd love to fuck around with some old shit, Stoney. It's one of my favorite things in the world. And even if it does come from a herming accident, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to herm. And at the end of the day, I just like collecting things, right? And different things to hypothetically play with. I mean, that was part of what was fun today, going through all my genetics and transferring them over was like, oh, yeah, like, this is what we have. And then I get sad because I'm like, I wish I had more and I wish I had all these other things. And then I go, oh, like I remember who gave me these or where these came from. And it was kind of like a walk down memory lane. It was pretty cool. No, actually, I just I can read a lot better from an actual physical piece of paper, but I'm getting used to doing this stuff here. If I was actually a true speed reader, I wouldn't even be moving my eyes. I would have overcome the inability to only look at 3 to 9 words at a time. I'd actually be able to open up my eyes to the whole page. I've never been great at that, but working on it one of these days. So Gregory Allen Reed, great question. You can basically have a sprout within 24 hours, and it can take up to a week. Sometimes you will have things sprout longer than a week, but anytime you go past in the paper towels more than a week, begin to realize that it's less and less chance of it actually being viable. And it's usually a fairly safe bet that if it hasn't germed within that first week of paper toweling, it's not going to. But that's not saying give up on it quite yet. I've had things germ as late as 2 or 3 weeks in paper towel. It is just rare. And often, too, some of these longer to take germ genetics often will not grow very fast. But then at the same time, I've had things do that grew really slow at first. And all of a sudden one day they're just like, okay, ready to be, and then it was good to go, right? So, never write something off. All these declarative rules online about, if it does this, it's automatically this. Bullshit. That's not how plants in general work. It's not how weed works. Always keep an open mind and give things a chance. And sometimes, yes, we do have to accept, this is just a piece of shit. And it is. And it sucks. And you feel bad saying it to the plant, or the pheno, but it happens. But that's part of the fun. Oh, Stony. Dark but funny. Green's a 373 steel. All one has to do to actually technically join the Potsquatch Growers Army is think to themselves, do I want to be a Potsquatch? Do I agree with the sentiments of the community? Then boom. If you say yes to those questions, you're a Potsquatch. It's not like I have to formally swear you in or anything like that. It's a place for all people. Okay. So we're all Potsquatches. Yeah, and in Acanthosape genetics, I mean, I get very nervous using a kelp solution because kelp is extremely hot. What I typically like to do is you can actually file an old seed very gently at its opening. You can use a little H2O2, just a few drops in a small glass will do you with normal water. Obviously, I do have some friends that, yes, like yourself, they won't use a kelp solution far too hot. They do like to use some mild nutrients. Another thing you could do is you can even, it's partially hydrophobic, but you can even take a little bit of rooting hormone powder and mix that in with your water. That can help to supercharge it a bit too. Watch your temperatures. Hell, some people even use carbonated water, which is a little heavy-handed in my mind, but it does technically sometimes work in terms of giving that little extra oomph to get that old seed to bust. So I'm not saying you can't use kelp, but I would just say note of caution with that one because a lot of kelp solutions are extremely hot. How you doing, sexy lady?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, she's opening the whiskey wine, everybody. It's about to get real. So real. So Stony Baker MD, your 10-year-old haze plant, it's okay. So, well, one, some things are just hard to clone, and there's not 100% you can do that about that. I would say try running her through the ringer of all the different kind of basic forms of cloning. I find that when things are stubborn to clone, I like to do the double dip. What the fuck does that mean? Well, let's say we're going to use a Jiffy pellet, or you're using rock wool, or you're just going to plant straight in the dirt. What I like to do is I'll first dip it in a cloning gel, and then I will dip it into a powder. Some plants prefer powders to gels, and if you do that double dip and making sure that it's nice and compact and it's all there and moist, that can help to do it. Obviously, make sure you're clipping the tips of your leaves. Make sure you're opening up enough segmentation on that branch to really kind of have that activate the little root nublets for it to gain new life. I like to normally leave like a node or something in my scraping. So let's say I'm scraping this section here. Like I like to try to get it so where I've got a node, like a nice big node there, but I'm not going down too low. Remember, we're just opening up that top layer of skin. So again, probably not a perfect answer, but I mean, it's at least my humble 2 cents on a few ways to kind of approach it. It could be having hard times to clone because it has a buildup of viral or pathogens within it. That's where one can use a tissue culture cloning method, right? That's all it's very new age and fancy, and I understand just enough of it to kind of talk about it a little bit. I've never personally done it yet, but that's where they use a bleach solution. It gets rid of all viruses, et cetera, and they actually use a piece of tissue and other chemical solutions to trigger it to grow into this new thing. The great thing about tissue culture is you can actually use that to bring back the vigor of an old mother plant or genetic that has, in fact, lost its vigor via, buildup of pathogens or viral crap, etc. Oh, I hate spider mites with a passion, Clay. Yes. How bad are they, my friend? Oh, no worries, Irish Wanderer. Welcome back, my friend. Hey, what's up, the Entourage Effect? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Cheers back to Massachusetts. 1 second. Thank you. Thank you very much, Stody. I would concur with you. 1 second here. I'm just reading. Dry sift or water hash. Not a huge dry sifter. I prefer dry ice sifting. I'd say they all have their own merit and they all have their own uses and applications. So I wouldn't necessarily compare one to the other. I would let them be their own thing and they all have their own values, I would say. But if, like, let's say the three, dry sift, dry ice, or water, or like a bubble hash, I'm going to probably stick with these two over bubble hash because I just find bubble hash annoying as fuck to make. I've always wanted to get like a big bubble hash machine. I helped my buddy retrofit a washing machine into one and it worked great for him. So, I mean, if you got like something set up so you don't have to sit there, like if I could just run it through the washing machine, run it into some giant 20-gallon bags, have that gravity fed, and then do it that way, I mean, maybe I'd be more into it. But yeah. No, I've never heard of Gene Guy Brandon Dusty. Never heard of that one, my friend. No worries, Jose. It's good. All is good. Yeah. So Julio from Denver, we're going to be doing a lot of new stuff going forward at the channel. Actually, that's something I can share right now. We've got some good news, actually. It's not a done deal yet, but we had this one place that we were hoping to buy. A better offer had been made on it, and so we lost out. Well, they called me 2 days ago. The other deal fell through, and they're willing to agree to my terms. So I have a signed sales contract. We've got a partially bought house for Lab 2. But I've got to sell this house in the set time window. So what I had to do is I dropped the price of our listing price. It sucks. We could have gotten what we were asking if we had the time to wait, but there's no rest for the wicked. There's no time to wait. I need to get a lab up and going again. We need to start making videos for all of you again, the way we like to. Plus, it's a great little house. It's cute. But it has a 900 plus square foot, 1 bedroom apartment in the basement of it. That's the new lab. The new lab isn't a garage. It's more than twice the size of the old lab. It's got a fully functional kitchen, and it's even got a shitter. So, the good news is we're going to have a lot of room to really start doing some different techniques and different compare and contrast. I mean, the bedroom's going to function as the main flowering room, but we are going to be doing like some different tent experiments and different other little things and builds and playing with a lot of different stuff to try to make a more diversified platform in terms of technique and content for people at home to kind of watch and digest, as it were, into their own minds for their own growing. So, as long as I can sell my house lickety split, we're good to go and locked and loaded, everyone. We'll be back up and running in the next month or two. I just got to sell this house. And once I flip this house, I've done all the other work, though. I've got a signed sales agreement or purchase agreement on the new house. I've already got the mortgage figured out. It's basically just I got to flip this bitch. So in order for quick flip, I dropped the house price 14 grand the other day. So hopefully that works out. But so simply put, Julio from Denver, yeah, we're definitely going to be doing a lot of fucking around with tents. We're also going to be doing breeding tents. We're going to be doing a lot of breeding exposés. And that one, the breeding one, we're actually going to be doing as like a long-term, ongoing, comprehensive series to really kind of get people comfortable with sort of the different steps and conceptual ideas behind not only creating the initial strain, but stabilizing the strain, looking for phenos. How do we do this? How do we, it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh shit, where are you again, Paper Scratcher? Yeah, so if you start to see webbing, there is a significant amount of them. Remember, they hatch on basically 12 to 24 hour cycles, so it's a war of attrition when it comes to those. Stony Baker MD, Potsquatch, important question. Keith and Chief's little girl hid all the telephones in his house. Where is her stash spot? Oh, if I was a kid who hid phones. Try to think like she would think. And maybe she would have picked the spot that would have been the least likely place for her dad to look. I don't even know what that means. It's all I got, but I hope it helps. Thank you very much, ladies, for sharing those links. For those of you who are noticing, the CBD link and the lights links have been shared by both Nicole and Ganjanani, your mama there, the CBD. We're launching 3 more products into that line, so it'll be a 4-product line and expanding going forward with the new dedicated website now. Check those out, and as well as our own lighting brand. Jose Canela, it depends on the plant I'm growing. And if it's a newer genetic, I prefer them to stretch out because I like to see what each nodal segment on their own will do. However, if I'm doing a production run, I know the genetic, I feel comfortable with the genetic, and also it's an indica based genetic, I'm going to want tighter nodal spacing on that. So it all depends on, one, what am I growing? How comfortable with that strain am I? And 2, no, I think that's about it, actually. So. Joe Quadruple 7B, I just use bubble bags. I just buy bubble bags. I will admit that after running, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, your bags start to crap out because the dry ice just breaks them down, and that just happens. There's not much you can do about it. But yeah, that's typically what I do. I've got a number of different Keef dry ice tumblers that I've built over the years back in the day. I've got some newer designs on building one I'd like to actually try to make. It's one of those things I just haven't gotten around to doing it. There's a lot of little things I'd like to build on the channel for everyone to try, and don't worry, these will be things that we'll share with you that you can try to recreate at home. So, oh, there you go, Brandon Dostie. Nice. That's true too. Thank you, Nicole. We do have a new email, right, for content requests, video requests, product review requests, all of that. So the new email is potsquatchdo@gmail.com. The do is with 2 O's. So as Nicole wrote there, it's potsquatchdoo@gmail.com. Check that out. Anything you'd like to see, send us a request. There's a good chance we'll do it, and we'll go from there, my friends. Me too, Brandon. I am so done not doing what I do. I am so done trying to sell a house and find a house. I just need to get into a new place and start doing what I do. And I personally love the fact that the new place has an entire 900 plus square foot apartment for me to do that. And the wife's happy because there's like a whole apartment that I can just go be in with what I do, and she doesn't have to see any of it anymore. Is the housing market good? Oh, it's hotter than shit right now. Prices are high, things are selling. The hard part has been for me is without selling our house, trying to get our offers taken seriously because we have the condition of having to sell our home. And when you're in BC, which is basically one of the most expensive housing markets in all of North America, it's also a place where a lot of foreign money comes in and they buy things here, or the rich buy up properties left, right, and center as a long-term investment plan in a way to protect their money. So when a normal person like myself goes into the housing market trying to buy my second home with only sort of a set amount of money, 500,000 may sound like a lot for a mortgage, but in BC it basically does next to fuck all. So you have to get creative and do your darndest to try to find a place. So but the new house, I'll own everything. So I own the house, I don't own the land here, Joe, but the new place is I own that land. It will be my land. I can do whatever the fuck I want on it. Down in Illinois, crazy paper scratcher. Wow. Have you guys been having a lot of supply chain issues in your grocery stores with everything going on? Yeah, I agree, Joe. Once you see webbing, there's a significant population there now. Good call, Jason. Good call. One second. How fucking far behind am I now? Nice. Dankness Genetics, I'm excited for you. What do we got coming down, my friend? That's true. I did see those on the internet, Canna Steve. I just haven't gotten around to buying one of those yet. Oh, for sure. Don't worry, Jose. We're going to be doing literally everything. Pretty much anything that has to do with weed. I have hopes of either partnering with another company in terms of it, or we'll release our own version of the tech, right? So, we're on a lifelong mission here to kind of empower all of you. And then also to piss off the competitors and make, the industry work the way it's supposed to, not being a greedy, price gouging bunch of whining, arrogant prick fucks who don't do things right. But that's my humble 2 cents. One second here, everybody. I'm just trying to play catch up. Ooh, nice. Is the Tropicana banana does it have those sort of citrus, and banana kind of terpenes to it. In terms of like, well, the name sounds like it'd be an awfully fruitalicious kind of a thing. I get that, Paper Scratcher. That makes sense. That sounds fun, Dankness Genetics. Now, my question is, Dankness, what is the genetic background on that? Because I actually don't know the strain. So, where does it come from? Is it a hybrid? It's probably most things these days are a hybrid, especially with the super fruity profiles that are out there. Yes, there are actually insecticidal soaps out there. One of my close friends out here owns a very large farm. It's not a pot farm, actually, but he does plants. He does exotic plants and different things for like garden centers and stuff. He's got a bunch of greenhouses, and they use a lot of insecticidal soaps when it comes to taking care of any potential things from thrips to mites to a mealybug or, fuck. There's a bunch of things out there that come fuck you, right? So, one second here, everybody. Oh, but I don't mean where it came from. It's good to know the breeder, but I want to know genetically what went into it, though. That's my question, Danktus. I want to know its origin story. I want to know the family tree. That's all I ever really care about, to be honest with you, most of the time. But that's just me. Yeah. Oh, I'm a nerd like that. Pot history and genetic tracing lines and stuff, or different theories on genetic tracing of where things came from is a big part of my personal weed nerd boner. I likes it. Yeah, no, like for example, one of the things I've started working on is putting together formal notebooks for not only. So the initial notebooks are genetic lineages, trace origin stories, and genetic sources that I have, and then also confirmed or potential back lineage sources historically of where it all comes from. That all goes into a catalog of potential history, and then there's another set of journals that I make in terms of the different crosses and different generations as I go and intermix and do stuff out. Realistically, by the time I'm dead, there's probably going to be a library of these things of me just sitting there drinking a beer, sketching crap. There you go, Quiet Witch. That sounds good. I like a good candle. But what kind of candles you gonna make though? Nice. Okay, so like a blueberry indica, I'm assuming, with the Girl Scout cookies. All right, that sounds fun. Now, Dankness, does it seem to come out with that more indica dom pheno on the ones you got going, or do you got more of a sat action going on? Jason Houlihan, if I was 20 minutes from Monsanto, that would scare the shit out of me. I do not trust those pricks whatsoever. Well, that sounds fun. That has a great potential, Canathebe genetics, in terms of having this beautiful, either a perfect hybridization, or you could take that strain in two different ways. You could go down the indica route, pheno way, or the sat way on it. That's one of the fun things I like to do when it comes to breeding, is kind of taking a strain and sort of identifying the different potential avenues of going down it, and then seeing, sometimes I'll only go two ways, sometimes I'll go six different ways on something. I mean, it's a lot of fun. What's up, Earth Friendly Farming? You are here. Welcome, my friend. How are you? Good to see you. Smegma Kush. I like that. That's a fun name, Smegma. Oh, Jason Houlihan. I'm a big fan of Afghani stuff. I'm a big fan of the Hindu Kush Mountains. A lot of the things that come out of India as well, sort of basically throughout the Middle East, down into India, and then certain parts of Asia, it's just all created such amazing things. And Happy Dude grows. A lot of people get mad about males, but males are so rare now with how many fem beans and compounded fem genetics are out there now. It's any day you get a healthy male, you should celebrate that. It doesn't always happen anymore. Stony Baker MD, nobody really has a true hash plant seed in my humble 2 cents. I've yet to see any seed company making something that is a true hash plant. All the hash plants I do are clone sourced locally. My friends do have seed as well, but they're hard to get out of them. So maybe one day I'll inherit them when they die or something. I know that sounds dark, but I've inherited a number of genetics that way, actually. So. Well, in terms of basic area, you'd probably be right. What's up, Malcolm Smith? Good to see you, my friend. Well, don't worry, Red Claws. We're definitely going to play with your gift that you sent us for sure. Yours was one of the ones up next to go into the glass jar before the show there. I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to play with. Part of what I'm doing today is going through all the genetics that are on hand. I'm going to realistically pick some things that are going to be things that I just want to kind of grow for me, but then we'll start growing some stuff out to do some breeding with and some experiments with as well. You know what I'm saying? Keep it Chief. Good times. The Hindu Kush does come from the Hindu Kush Mountains, so it's a safe assumption on the name. Sometimes the name assumption doesn't always work when it comes to our industry, but it's usually a fairly safe bet. Alien Rift may have some form of hash plant way back when, once upon a time in it, but I wouldn't call it a hash plant though. My cat or your cat? It was probably your cat because I haven't heard my cat, but I am a little deaf, so who knows? Okay, so earth-friendly farming, a true hash plant is usually a short, squat bush. Typically, hash plants have a very light green color to their flower. And the thing that makes a true hash plant isn't even so much the look or the color. For me, now most cannabis is this way, it's the smell and the taste. When you smell a true hash plant, it's got this like a literal hashy smell to it. It smells like an old school hash. It's got this beautiful earth and spice with this secondary of subtle sweetness to her. She punches like a motherfucker, but at the same time, not only is she super potent, but just such an enjoyable smoke. Like you can just sit there and smoke it all day just for the smell and the flavor of it alone. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Stefan Robinson. Everyone, big moment here. Big shout out to Stefan, who is our official graphics arts designer for everything we do. We couldn't do what we do without you, Stefan. Thank you so much, my friend. Very, very, very potentially easy money. I love old seeds, so you know what? Whatever ends up coming out, take some pictures and send it to me. Sounds like awesome. I would completely disagree if you're talking about a hash plant canna save genetics because one, New York City diesel is a very gassy sap plant, and hash plant is a pure full-fledged indica, and a true hash plant from back in the hood days was a straight indica. She did not taste like a diesel. She tastes like a dank indica, earthen, spicy, hashy thing. But again, that's my professional opinion and my experience with it. I also know I know it quite well, but at the end of the day, that's part of the fun of cannabis history and learning together as communities is sharing different things and different things we've seen. We got to all remember too that one, the hash plant, the true hash plant alone had many, many different phenotypes within it. So, I mean, there could have been a phenotype that I never got to meet that you got to meet of the same basic genetic line that did have those attributes. It's not unheard of. It's quite possible, actually, right? So, but most of the breeding I do when it comes to attempting to create new versions of something that I remembered from my mind, smell and taste are the number one go-tos for me. I'm not someone as a breeder who is worried about hitting a high THC level. I think that's a very misguided concept that has sort of been adopted by a lot of the breeders out there. And heirloom genetics, the true flavors, tastes, and smells are the way to go. And if you have a true stable genetic that you take care of properly, it's going to knock you on your ass, quite potential, possibly, right? And yes, there are weeds that aren't that strong, but a high THC level doesn't necessarily mean it's going to fuck you up either. There's over 468 psychoactive cannabinoids and chemicals and active ingredients within cannabis. So, at the end of the day, there's a lot more going on there than just the THC level. So, I don't really personally breed with that being my primary goal or my primary thing I'm looking at. For me, obviously, potency is part of it, but my potency test is more so like actually smoking it, eating it, and observing what I feel. Maybe ask some of my friends to try it and see what they think or feel about it. But for me, flavor and smell is the biggest part of cannabis. And because at the end of the day, I would rather smoke something that tastes amazing and smells amazing, that's a little bit, weaker than something that's super strong but tastes like shit. Because I enjoy it, right? So it's not just about getting high for me, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I do. I'm a big fan of traditional Northern Lights. There's quite a few different versions of it from the old hood days of different phenos that existed. I've bred with it. One of my favorite early breeding programs in my first few years where I was playing around with breeding and trying to do it was a Master Kush Northern Lights cross that I did, and holy shit, she was something special. If I had taken that breeding program forward, I would have probably tried to bring out some more cushy notes on it than it had naturally on that first initial cross on there. But it was a hardy fucking plant. I've never had the chance to try the Afgui, but I've heard of it. Ooh, I am jealous, Stony. That is sexy. I've actually never had the chance to play with Velvet Rush. I've only played with the Blueberry of DJ Short personally from the back early days, and that sounds sexy. Hey, dude, that's awesome. I've never actually tried that one, but I mean, for me, I love Kush anything. Anything that's a Kush and it comes out smelling and tasting like a Kush, I am a very happy camper. So yes, does that mean I'm kind of biased in terms of certain things? Oh, totally, 100%. But I grew up in British Columbia too, right? Like British Columbia is a true Kush place these days. I mean, when I was younger, there was a lot more diversity in terms of cannabis here in British Columbia. But how old would I have been when the real cushiness sort of took over and started to transition? Maybe about 14 or 15 was really when sort of we became this really Kush and indica dominated market out west. And that's kind of just all what we fell in love with now. Oh, earth friendly farming. I even if it's only part hash plant, you can still have all of those wonderful smells and tastes come out of it, and I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Is it the lights or my beard that's turning green? No, it's probably just the light hitting my beard in a weird way. My beard's kind of brown, reddy orange. If you see it in like direct sunlight, it's really quite red and orange in a lot of spots of it. But oh, I know. I mean, I don't know personally. I've never done the compare and contrast between the two places, Daniel, but I could assume. Hey, there you go, Keith and Chief. I just jam, man. You know, I predominantly play mostly blues. I'm more of a lead guitarist. I just like to fuck around. I'm a fan of either a ceramic pot or a plastic pot myself. I hate fabric pots. Well, that's not good, Stefan. We'll talk later about hypotheticals that may have caused it. Oh, is that the color of your hair, gone down to your mama? Yes, I've heard of Power Plant. I've met Power Plant. Probably another thing that came out slightly after the normal Power Plant was the Purple Power Plant. Again, a little sandy for my liking, but some of the phenos of Purple Power Plant came out really quite nice. So Power Plant in general, quite good. I prefer Purple Power Plant, which came slightly down the line. But yeah, no, I'm aware of those ones. Anything old, often I've heard of. A lot of this new age stuff, I just don't even pay attention to it because in my mind, a lot of the basically the last 15 or 20 years of most breeding that's been done, I just fucking have no use for. So you know, that's why we at Potsquatch Growers are trying really hard to kind of find as much old shit as we can to kind of equip ourselves in such a way that we can build some beautiful things for you going forward in the future generations of weed people. I'd have to look up Dynafem's history on the 2012 Dynafem release of that. I mean, in 2012, it's long enough ago that it could be damn near close. I'd have to look into it though, because I'm not 100% sure in their 2012 release, so I'd have to look into that, my friend. Um, well, greens at 373 steel often. If your cannabis almost feels over dried because you left the lid off, hopefully it wasn't too long that you did that. It might actually feel dry, but if you actually, in fact, just put that lid back on and leave it for a while, that moisture level could return. And at the end of the day, if it has just pooched the shoot, like I said, it's one of those few times where I would maybe advise one to use a humidity pack to see if you can get a little bit more moisture into there. Obviously there's the old age trick. Some people like to use apples and stuff. I always felt a little weird about using fruit. One thing that we used to do a lot is get like a really fresh pita bread, and we throw that pita bread, flatbread, into the bag. I've always found that when attempting to slightly rehumidify, shall we say, cannabis, that typically seems to work slightly better. And I trust it more than putting an apple slice or some shit in there. Also, it's not gonna fuck with your flavors and make it all weird too, right? 1 second here. Right back. And we're back. All right. Hey, no worries, Stefan. We will talk soon, my friend. I'll see you. Worst case scenario, we'll have a meeting, if not tomorrow, the next day, about everything. And Stefan, I did reach out for all of the things and reiterate it again. We still need those label templates for the products that they need for the printer. So I'm hoping we'll have that in the next day or two, and I'll be able to get those to you. Sounds good, Happy Dude Grows. May the force be with you, man. Don't sneeze in the jar. No. If you want, maybe go. Don't sneeze in it, though. That's just gross. Good. No, Josh, that's definitely a valid way to do it too. The only thing is don't go too heavy when using like a fresh leaf because the huge levels of moisture on a living leaf could accidentally propagate mold there. So that's the only thing you got to watch out for when doing that. But Josh Green, that is definitely a good trick for sure. It's just one that one should be careful with, just for hypothetical potential mold growth. But good addition on that one. I approve, 100%, my friend. Yeah, see, like I use the pita bread, the flatbread, Josh. That's what I'm into. One second. Just playing catch up. Bear with me. No, it's just dankness genetics. I don't always get a chance to like touch base with Stefan exactly all the time, and he was here, so I figured I might as well just sort of share that with Stefan quickly. I don't care if publicly people know that we're working on new products. I've already announced it anyway, and I've already announced him as my graphics guy. So yeah, fuck it, might as well let him know. Oh, I know, Stefan. Autocorrect gets me all the time. That's why I'm a big fan of doing audio clips. I'm better at talk than type. All right. I smoke a lot of weed when I watch you. Why? My only guess is maybe you find me more entertaining if you're high. Like a bad movie. Hey! Happy V-Day back to you, Jacob Postma at Crown Canna. Everyone, well, now that we got Jacob here, we can share a little bit about what they're doing. So Crown Canna is a little company out of Ontario. Very much like Uncle Potsquatch, those associated with it come from the other side of the tracks, the true weed titty people. The ones who got fucked over by legalization. But they have some really exciting stuff that they've been working on. We're not going to talk about it in depth here, but what I will share is that they are very much a great proponent on the east coast of Canada, fighting the fight of one, true advocacy for a true inclusive market, but also at the same time, people who are true lovers of boutique cannabis, craft cannabis, high-end cannabis, cannabis done the right way. And they're doing a lot of work with growers throughout Canada to try to sort of, one, both help elevate them to the next level, but also get them to that place that we're all hoping one day will happen, where the smaller growers will be allowed into the market where we can do things. So their basic mission statement is something that very much I, myself personally, as well as my company, is in support of, and we got their back, you know, we friends now, and we're actually going to be making a fun little video that I've come up with whenever I get around to shooting it to kind of in a creative way talk maybe potentially about what they do, so it'll be fun, but anyway, big shout out back to you, my friend Jacob. I hope you're well. We the little weed titty people need to stand together, goddammit. But yeah, so what else can we share? Oh, we talked about the new place, so as long as we can flip this stupid place, like I said, we'll be good to go on that one, and hopefully be in Lab 2. Lab 2 is going to be fun, like I said. It's over 900 square feet at the basement of a house, one-bedroom apartment. The one fun thing, too, is about this is because it's technically a legal suite by Canadian terms. So, like, for example, I couldn't legally, technically, under the rules, go rent this currently because there's one or two spots where the ceilings are too low. I could touch it with my head in the kitchen with my, like the ceiling. I can do this, and I'm touching the roof with my head. But I figured, hey, fuck it, who cares? One, we're LED growers, so it doesn't matter. And two, the rest of the ceilings in the suite aren't that low. And then also three, the fun part of it really is I get to pretend I'm a giant now. Welcome to Potsquatch Growers. I am a giant. In actuality, I'm not, but it'll be funny, right? It's all about forced perspective. And, well, let's be fair. Like, when I was in the one-bedroom apartment down there looking like, well, could I grow here? Could I make this lab too? Could I have my office here? Could we grow our company here? Yeah, I think we could, you know? Okay. Ooh, and I can pretend to be a child too. Yes, good times. But like I said, as long as within the time window that we have to, that we can sell this house, we will be good to go. But yeah, Lab 2 is going to be an actual self-contained 900 plus square foot, one bedroom apartment. And so what we're going to do is, the actual bedroom itself is going to be a regularly running flowering room, but then we're going to have tons of space throughout the rest of the apartment in order to, start doing experiments and showing other things and playing around with things. And it's an older house too. So one of the things I like is old houses have a lot of like these weird like closets and nooks and crannies in them that modern houses don't. There's this great little fucking cupboard that's underneath the stairs. So it's like you open it and then it's just like this. And I'm like, oh my God, like 14-year-old me was like, weed! Like, it's just like that closet that like the kid grower in me when I was first learning would get excited when you'd find one of these like hidden nooks and crannies. Paper scratcher, what if it's haunted? Well, I am a shaman, so I'm not overly worried about that. And two, also, I have a lot of ghost homies that literally ride with me. A lot of clairvoyants oddly notice them sometimes, and weird shit happens all the time everywhere I go. I got a crew, man, and it's not just you guys and girls in season days. I got ghost crew, man, and so basically, even if there's typically stuff in a place between my abilities of what to know what to do. And then also my ghost backup, you know what I'm saying? We should be cool, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention there's quite a few witches as well in our community now. So they got my back as well, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even read it. I'm sorry, Dankness Genetics. Let me go back. I'll read your joke. I don't want to make you sad. 1 second here. Where was it? I'm going to find it. Don't you worry, Dankness. Labrador, man. I'm actually wanting to get a Newfoundland dog, actually, because the wife said when we get a bigger house, I can get a big dog. So I really want a Newfie, man. I really want a big Newfoundland dog, but we'll see. But actually, the Quiet Witch and Ivan, they were married, obviously. They're together. That's why I put them together. But they're actually from Labrador. They live down in Labrador, too. Hashtag boom. What's up, Zach Baker, my friend? How are you doing today? Oh, you mean Tommy Chong and he's got some Labrador in it. Labrador? What do you mean Labrador, man? Well, my fucking dog ate my stash, man. I had to fucking follow the fucker around for a week to get it back. I almost think it improved it. We're smoking dog shit, man? Sorry it took me a second to follow myself, but once I got there, I was there, Dankness. Ah, fuck, that's funny. Oh, good times. Yeah. Oh, good times. Oh, Zach Baker says, what's your favorite Kush? I wouldn't say there is a favorite one. Obviously, the old school Kushes always make me very, very happy inside. From the Hindus to the Burmeses, the Afghanis. I love them. They're so good. For newer age Kushes, okay, I really like Tuna Kush. For a new age Kush, it totally meets the requirements of a Kush for me, personally speaking. And I quite like that for new age Kush. What's another? Ooh, another new age Kush that I've got a major hurt on for. Like I want to fuck it. Like I want to fuck the old school Kushes. Like it's that tasty, a good version of this shit. So a true King's Kush is totally a new age Kush, but it is fucking dank. Mm-hmm. I've had some really purpley phenotypes of the King's Kush, and man, they were something so just danky special. I actually have a few King's Kush beans left in my collection. I only think I have 2 or 3 of them left, but I've at least got those. I know that because I've been going through my catalogs and stuff today and packaging things. So. Yeah, right? No, exactly. Like a true kush should stink like a motherfucking bitch, man. Yeah, Mother Tree Maine, the King's Kush, like a true King's Kush that I've been playing with, really really nice. All the phenos were dank as fuck, but my favorite pheno that came out of it was it wasn't the biggest producer, but this pheno came out that had just deep purple hues through sort of sections of it, and it was danker and stinkier and stronger than her sister. So the sisters produced slightly better, but fuck, what she did do, oh no, that was a doo doo. Well, Pink Kush obviously is just a quintessential classic from BC. We grew it last time. I'm smoking it right now, and we're going to be doing a lot of breeding actually with that Pink Kush going forward. Probably something that will get growing right away, just so I can get some plants in flower as soon as possible. We'll probably grab some of those pinks and Hindus from the two friends that I have keeping those genetics alive and grab those so we can have them back and then start playing with them. It's not really something that is easily describable, Irish Wanderer, but I'll put it to you this way. When you smell a kush, you will never forget again what a kush means, if that makes sense. Because the fact is that's the thing that's hard about the kush, right? Because there's a lot of kushes that smell completely different from each other, but they have one common variable. They all also smell like kush. Kush is like this subsect backbone to the profile of the cannabis, and there's not really a way because it's indicate like it's not like a skunky thing, but it is like a funky thing like a skunk, but it's not. But it's funky, right? Like I personally don't think I could ever find the true words, at least I can't currently right now, to truly describe what kush itself means. But like, for example, you could have 10 different types of kush, and they all smell completely different in one sense, like in terms of their secondary or on top profiles. However, they will all have a commonality. They will all also smell like kush. And it's funny because it's hard to describe what that is. Because no one in BC, I don't think, could really ever describe what that means, except we know what it is, because that's all we want. But once you smell a kush, and you go, like if I take, like, that's kush. And then I'll grab another type of kush that smells different, but has the same smell at the same time, and I'm like, that's kush. And then you'll realize what a kush is. How do I describe it? I don't think I could. I mean, I think I just did the best I could to describe it for you, my friend. But, yeah. Oh, I agree. Rockstar was a big classic and it was huge for a long time in British Columbia. A true OG is always beautiful. Purple, classic. Pink, also good. A lot of different variations on pink out there now, but the true pink comes from Vancouver Island in British Columbia. And that's, getting close to that origin story. So, for example, the pink cushions that we're working with here, that is the true Pink Kush. As I shared when we first got that one gifted to us by a very close grower friend of mine out here, he was offered $80,000 by a Quebec company for a single cutting of that. He told them to go fuck themselves. Then he gave me 8 for free. That's an interesting idea, Kemet432. I think I actually understand what you're getting at there. It's an interesting idea. Yeah, see, but I wouldn't say that it. But see, this is where it gets hard, Mother Tree Maid. Is because see, to me, Kush smells nothing like rubber or a tire or tennis balls. If that's what your Kush smells like, you have not smelled the right Kush. Kush is organic and floral and funky. It's like the sexy woman who also could kick your ass in 5 ways from Sunday. Oh, and she has an IQ of 182, and she can drink you under the table. Like, oh, Kush, 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 you naughty, dirty mistress. I love good Kush. Everybody just come to my house. I'll show you what it smells like. Oh, man. And even though it doesn't answer the fucking thing at all, I love my description of Kush just now as that just true dangerous Amazonian woman. I'm trying to read here now. Bear with me, everybody. Well, Green's at 373 steel. For example, if we were hanging out and I'd be like, dude, check this out. Like, have you smelled anything like this before? And then you might be able to start seeing what colloquial cushes are now. And then you could think back in your past, go, oh, maybe I did try this. Or maybe I did have some of this at one point. You know what I'm saying? Well, like Mother Tree, Maine. There's this one, if you like really gassy smelling things, that Gorilla Blue that we did, you should have smelled that one. It was fucking funky. It was, I'm trying to remember its genetic lineage. DJ Short's Blueberry Indica crossed with Gorilla Glue number 4, which is known as Blueberry. And then that was crossed with kind of a more of a Blueberry Sad, actually. And so, but it came out with this just, it had the gassiness and the hit of the nose that reminded me of certain kind of sour diesels back in the day. Different sort of later build out of the skunk variation, Sat family, skunk family, right? Like, and her terpenes were so savage that you need like liquid nitrogen or dry ice to get it to set up. It was fucking insane. Like, oh, fuck. And, oh, she was weird. I liked it, though. And that's good, Bob's cousin. Because Bob's cousin, that's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, it's hard to know too, right? Because you got to remember too, like different, and that's where like strain histories is like a big thing that I love, just being a nerd about it or trying to research and looking into. Because well, one, a lot of people around the world have different ideas where things came from. And we'll leave it at that. We won't get into that one too much, but it's like because a lot of times, there was things that they had origin points in the Middle East and this or that, and then there's other genetics that then would come from over there that went into Europe, or other things from like Jamaica or other places, and then things in Europe were happening, but then things in North America were happening, and then like everybody kind of switches things, and then they start working for things. So like these things from back in the day go to other places, and then they locally in this area start sort of working into stuff. So for example, if you ask Gazzers, right? Like a lot of the New Zealand genetics that are really popular in New Zealand these days all come from Canadian-based genetics predominantly that were brought over there, but not bajillions of years ago, a few decades ago maybe. Um, and then they've been working with ever since, though, right? Now, mind you, they also have their stuff over there too, right? So, but it's just interesting, right? Like weed histories and tracking who did what with what. That's why anyone at home playing with stuff, try to learn where your stuff comes from as best you can, or at least take notes on everything that you see in terms of your collections and your breeding programs. Start writing it down because if we actually start doing that now, like a couple generations from now, like we'll have a really concrete history. We'll have a concrete thing rather than hearsay and ego to actually begin to kind of one, trace origin stories, but then also two, to really build a good future with a good past foundation. That's also why at our little company for our brand, why Gazzers and I are working so hard to collect all these old things that we're going to be working with to build it for you, is to build something that's both viable, it's stable, it's reliable, and affordable, right? But then we can then also pinpoint and cut out a lot of the bullshit from the last 15 or 20 years and kind of go back to certain origin stories. So then we start working with it and we keep our notes on what it is. Then you can know that if we were to get struck after 20 years by a bus and then someone came in and took over our work, they'll be able to see all of our notes and everything that we were doing so they can understand what it was, where it came from, where it was meant to go, at least in our ideas of it, right? So, and these types of notes is so important in my humble 2 cents for building a true, wonderful, quote unquote, green future for marijuana. Skunk is a subsect of the sativa family. There's many skunks, and also didn't originate in the UK. A lot of skunk was developed in the UK, but it doesn't originally come from there. But skunk is a very old school subspecies within the sativa family species. Okay, or subfamily, I should say, or subsect of the sativa species of cannabis. There are very powerful skunks from all over the world. The UK did many. The Dutch did a lot. The Spaniards did many. A lot of skunks in Canada. BC has its own skunks. There was a huge North American skunk that came from BC back in the hood days. That skunk number one kind of funkiness. We all had our own versions of it, right? So there was all these different subsects of skunk that have shot out. White rhino is from the lineage of the skunk family. White widow is from the lineage of the skunk family. The New York City diesel, sour diesel shit has a bunch of skunk origin in it. That's where that gassy lit terp profile comes from, was that skunk family. Cheese sativa, another one that comes from the skunk family. Like the skunk subsect family of sativa has given birth to so many beautiful things. But yeah, so anyway, long story short, neither here nor there. But again, this is just where we should learn and also be careful on the internet. There's a lot of information out there that's wrong now in terms of origin stories of stuff, or people are sure they know what they're talking about. One of the best things you can do to begin to actually learn origin stories is trying to find old High Times magazines, buy old books that were published back in the day. There's a great book about sort of some of the histories of here in BC if you'd like to read it. For me, it was a very formative book years ago. It was called West Coast Smoke, I believe, is what it's called. I think I got mine for a nickel plus shipping on Amazon. It was not expensive. I love how some of my holy books that meant so much to me in my early days, they're basically worth 5 to 25 cents. But check it out. It's not a hard read. It's not a huge book. But that is a very interesting read, and it's a great read to begin to introduce you to the type of text and the type of stuff we need to start looking for doing these back researches and stuff. I mean, obviously, word of mouth stuff from older growers is a big part of what we do too, right? And talking to them, but many of them are even dead now. But so that's where like old High Times articles, old books that have been published over the years is going to be some of the safest, most concrete place for you to get accurate historical information on this stuff. Just be careful about the internet. There's a lot of malarkey. And that's the hard thing. Like sometimes even 60 to 80% of what you're seeing on stuff will be malarkey in terms of origin stories. The funny part is the true history's there too. But how do you know which one's which, right? It's like trying to find, the pictures of the giant skulls that were found. 80% of them on the internet are bullshit from an old Photoshop competition that was done years ago. But then at the same time, some of the worst pictures out there that that definitely is fake is actually in fact a picture of a true giant skull that was found and unearthed. But so I mean, it's just everything with a grain of salt, and this is where research and actually kind of approaching pot history like history in general is, and always kind of be critical on what you hear and what you see. And that's also part of the fun too. Just like, where did shit come from? How did it become to be? And sometimes it's really cool when you've got like different groups of people that are certain that one strain had an origin here. Or like one of my favorite things when you see 3 different growers claim to have invented something. That's interesting too. And then I'm just quietly sitting there listening, going, so you go. Okay, you go. Okay. But that's also part of the fun too, right? It's just like real history. Yeah. But anyway, there's my tangent on accurate pot history research. Excuse me. One second here. I'm just playing catch up after my tangent. Nice, Mother Tree Mine. Oh, that's also true too. Just the skunk. I get that too. I didn't live there, but I've been there a lot over the years. So sorry, I misfollowed you on that one of a colloquial slang phrase. No, I feel you now, 100%. Fucking Christ, how far behind am I? Sorry, everybody. Okay, good. I'm caught up. There we go. Woo! Hey, blessings back at you, El Rey Salvage. I hope you're doing my friend. We're doing well, my friend. I hope you're doing my friend. Well, hey, I hope you're both doing each other and having a good time. How do I feel about vape juice? Bad. I mean, I smoke cigarettes. They're bad too. I think actually, in the long run, my prophetic thing here, vapes will prove to be way worse than cigarettes in the end. We're using atomizers to take a glycerin-based, nicotine suspension and make it into an aerosol and breathe it in. Yes, technically an aerosol just means anything that has been, evaporated into the air. Okay, cool. It's not like every aerosol is a bad thing. I mean, technically, water vapor coming off the kettle is an aerosol. Okay. But the idea of using an atomizer that's eerily similar to the basic breakdown of a jet engine and then, running a glycerin with nicotine in it, I don't know. I don't trust it. At the end of the day, if I want to be healthy, I'll just quit smoking cigarettes. And I just don't trust it. So, I mean, and the fact is, vapes haven't really existed that long. And we already have like a lot of research showing a thing called, what's it called now? It's a fucking name. I was just thinking about it. I was going to talk about it and it just fell out of my head. Popcorn lung. There we go. Which is irreparable damage to the bronchioles of your lungs caused by these things. And we're just starting to kind of learn about it. Like, we don't even really know yet. The jury's still out really on vaping, right? But the fact that we've already had some of these initial indicators kind of makes me nervous as hell. So I think if one were to use a vape thing, I would say use it as a quit smoking aid, but do not use it as just a day-to-day replacement. If you start using a vape, you should be doing it to get off nicotine addiction, getting yourself down. I think that my prediction is that the long-term use of these stupid things, and the way you see people hitting them now with these super high wattages on them, I don't think it's gonna prove to be good for people. I really don't. I'm not saying cigarettes are good for you. Cigarettes are bad, but I don't know. I kind of feel a little safer with the cigarette, to be honest with you. And so that's my 2 cents on them. So I don't know. They concern me, to be completely honest. Oh, thank you very much, Sean Parker. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was the All In with Rick Jordan show we did, or podcast we did. It was fun. I was really excited. A little nervous. It was kind of the first normal show that wanted to have us on a show. Weed people invite us on their shows sometimes, and so I'm used to that. But it was weird to have kind of, what I jokingly called like a real show. And I was, I was worried at the end of the interview. I was like, fuck, I either totally sounded okay or I totally sounded like a complete fucking idiot. But in the end, I was I didn't sound like a complete idiot, so that was okay. I had fun though, and I definitely had a lot of good time. And big shout out to Rick Jordan and all of you off the team there at All In for having me on the show. Well, that's good, Josh Green. But for example, like a lot of the people out here, man, who are vaping the vapey things, like they're doing like 15 milligram, 30 milligram, 20 milligram vape juice. They're hitting it at a bajillion watts. They're like a fucking plumage thing. Like, and again, I think really at the end of the day, in terms of any form of vape, one, those things are just far too powerful. That can't be good for you. And two, it should be used as a quit smoking aid. It shouldn't be used as a replacing thing. Because really at the end of the day, nicotine literally does nothing for us. It's just addictive. We like it. It makes our reward system feel happy briefly. So at the end of the day, we should all probably just get off nicotine shit altogether. For me, in a weird way, tobacco almost has a bit of a spiritual part to it too, I guess. So at least there's that with smoking that or smoking a cigar or a pipe and the ritual of it kind of thing, right? But I don't know. The vape stuff should, in my mind, should just be used as a quit smoking thing. But that's just me too. What are my thoughts on dry herb vapes? I mean, probably the greatest one still to this day would be the Volcano. I remember when they first released those when I was a kid. That was great. Overall, I think a dry herb vape is a great option for those who'd like to use it. Nothing wrong there, in my humble 2 cents, as long as you've got a clean flower that's going into it. I would say, though, at the same time, it's not for me. I don't find like it hits that hard in a way that I want it to. So it's like the only thing that's really ever been able to kind of meet that sort of hit fix, as it were, that was a vape was a Volcano, like a big old bag of Volcano shit. Like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That works, right? Like, I mean, the Volcano is a classic, and it's, sure, they make them digitally now, the old analogs. It's the same basic fucking device, and it's just one of those few devices that they just made it right the first time. They were way too expensive when they came out. They probably still are now, but, at the end of the day, they were great. So I think that in terms of health-wise, I wouldn't worry about using a dry flower vape as long as you're using a good quality of flower. For me personally, I don't find it really... Most of them don't hit that. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm smoking, like, or hitting it, right? Like, and so just for me, it doesn't really work, but. Sorry, everybody. I'm just trying to, like, power absorb everybody's shit. Hey, dude, that's not a bad thing, Stony. I have not tried that one, I believe, Natty Drade. I don't believe I've tried that one. I don't do hot knives very much anymore. One, I have a partial, or not. It's not an induction burner, but it's got the glass top. So unless I put like a pot down on it to heat my blades up, it barely works. And I'm just like, I don't need to hit a hot knife that bad to go do it to that level. So. I know you love your hot knives, Gassers. I mean, I did a lot of hot knives when I was a kid and an early teenager, but like, see, for me now, like Uncle Potsquatch just smokes joints. If I want to get really fancy, I put a bunch of rosin in my joint, or some hash in my joint. I've been known to hit the occasional bung, the occasional dab rig, the occasional, little rosin vape pen maybe, or something. But for the most part, like, I just like smoking joints, man. I'm just boring. Yeah, right? I figured they probably still way too much money. Maybe I'll make my own version of it that works just as well, but is way cheaper. 1 second, everybody. I'm almost there. Aha! I caught up. There we go. Woo! We caught up. That's fucking hilarious, Rowan. I can just picture it now. Yeah, we hot knifed hash as kids. We even hot knifed weed. Like when we were running really low on weed, we would hot knife weed. We'd take like the weed and we like squish it up into like little pellets, right? Because it's super sticky, right? So we just make little derps, and then like we're almost out of weed. We just for me now too with my beard, I don't even want to try. I'm far too attached to my beard for that one. So, and again, I mean, I've never really worried about having enough weed, so I just smoke joints. Yeah. If I'm being fancy, like I said, I put a little rosin on it, or I might use a bang or a pipe or something. But Ooh, 51 watching, 51 likes. Trippy. Yep. But yeah, anyway, I'm excited though about this new place. As long as we can sell this place and get that all said and done, we've got Lab 2. It's not a done deal yet, so don't everyone like celebrate. Yeah, you can just kind of like get, if anything, more tense. Like, oh, they're so close now. They're so close now. Oh, it's funny. Like years ago, I remember this one time I used to roll like a big fat doobie, and I'd hop on my scooter. Drove this like a little like electric scooter that I super like turbocharged down. That thing was stupid. Built into a small motorcycle frame, but it was built in such a way way that you didn't need a license to drive it until I modified it. But you know, nobody knows you did that. So I'd go always to like some days to get like, you know, McDonald's breakfast sandwich. I mean, I know they're not good for you, but I do like me an egg McMuffin. And so anyway, this one time I'm driving down there to go get my egg McMuffin and hit up the liquor store to get a case of beer, and like the giant cherry like from my dude falls in my beer, and I'm like, oh no, my beer. So I'm panicking that like I burnt this giant hole in my beard, and I'm all nervous about it. And so I get there and I kind of get off the scooter and I go try to look in the glass, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even see shit. It looks totally fine. What the fuck? Yeah, so anyway, my beard seemingly had put it out, or it's totally fine. So, but I was so panicked. I was like, no, I'm destroying my beard. Yes, that's right. Everyone, combine your psychic motif energies. Someone just come by this motherfucker. Buy the damn house. Then we can get back to business as usual. I don't even know what you guys are talking about, Irish Wander and Dang. I'm confused now. Oh, dude, this one time. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's because, like, if you're drunk and doing hot knives, oh, you ever kiss a knife? I've kissed both before. You're all drunk. You're all like, ah, why me? Why did I do this? Fucking bad. Another reason why don't do hot knives, or if you do, be very careful. A big thing for us as kids that we liked to smoke was the depth charger, right? You take a 2-liter pop bottle, cut off the bottom, put a ball on the top, put it in the big tub of water, or like a jug of water. That was a big one for us. The third lung, same basic concept, except you put the plastic bag on the end of it rather than doing it in the water. I mean, sometimes we do the gravity bong for fun, but that was just stupid, really. At the end of the day, you're just better off using the depth charger. Because by the time the gravity bong was done filling it, it's so stale and gross, and it's just like, oh, this is painful. You've never heard of a hot knife? Okay, so Josh Green, basically, hot knives where we take like 2 knives, we stick it in a fucking burner element, wait till they get glowing red hot, pull them off, let them cool down a little bit. It's kind of like the Mark 1 dab, if you think about it like that. And then typically done with hash, oil, weed even. Like we would do it, we just like kind of crush the weed into a little pellet, and you just go like this. And you hold the 2 hot knives together. Holy shit, man. It was kind of like the Mark 1 dab back in the hood days, you know what I'm saying? See, a gravity bong for us was actually where you would take a 2-liter pop bottle with a bowl, and it's filled with water. So we would plug it, light it, let the water come out. That came out, then it fills the thing with smoke. Once the water's gone, crack the top, hit it. So that's what we called back in the hood days a gravity bong. The one in the bucket, I've heard it called buckets before, but we called them depth chargers. Maybe it's just like different generations call it different shit. I don't know. Or maybe even just different regions. But at the same time, right? Like, then that's again, like, I mean, the slang is like, there's so many different slang words for the same shit in our industry, too, right? And it doesn't mean like one's more right than the other. It's just what we know certain things at, right? Like, that's just how it is. But this is where having an international community in these modern day times is pretty cool because we can all be like, oh, you guys call it that? Oh, shit, like, we call it this. Dude, that's cool. All right, look at us learning this shit, right? Yeah, see, we did that like once in a blue moon, happy dude, but like the consensus and most of the people I ever hung out with were like, fuck that, we're way too lazy for that shit, man. That's like, if we did it that way, we were like, it was for an occasion, we're being fancy, we put on our Sunday best, right? Like, yeah, see, there you go. You called it a parachute. That exact same device, Romans, we would call that a third lung. Right? But it's like, there you go. Also, parachute means a completely other thing, too, in terms of other drugs as well. The old apple pipes. We knew them well in high school. If Mom only knew what we do with this apple every damn day. Yeah, that was a thing back in the hood days for me too. The old shotgun. See, the thing about the shotgun that was fun, and this is where we take like a blunt or a big joint, put the lit end in your mouth. Be careful, don't burn yourself, and then you blow. You grab your buddy, be like, you know what I mean? And the great thing about that one was for us growing up as kids is like if your lung capacity is bigger than everyone around you, you are the one who does it, right? Because you could just hit so hard because you basically just like force it to smoke into them. It was hilarious. High school, I don't do these things anymore. I'm just nostalgic. I just smoke joints now. DJ True 24V. I don't even know if we had it, like, because we would do it sometimes, and like growing up too, where you like take that big hit and then pound a beer. I don't think we had a name for it though. Fun, you know. Blowback. Yeah. See, that's another one. See, we called it shotguns, and I remember when I went to the UK as a teenager, and then the teams over there were calling it a blowback, and I was like, "What? Oh, you mean a shotgun?" They're like, "What?" And then we realized we were saying the same fucking thing. We just had different names for it. It's like the junior UN. Oh. uh, See, isn't this fun, everybody? Remembering all the different stupid ways we got high back in the day. I'd probably say the stupidest. See, there we go. The Swedes say what the Canadians say. See, there we go. Now, mind you, it may be only on the West Coast that we call it a shotgun. They may call it a blowback on the East Coast of Canada now that I'm thinking about it, or at least in Ontario. But, I mean, I've always known it as a shotgun. Yeah, see, shotgunning a beer, different thing, but they were like cousins of each other. But yeah, so shotgunning a beer was doing the beer thing, right? But then that with the joint, what many are calling blowback, like we called it a shotgun, but it was like two different types of shotguns, but they both were a good time. But yeah, the stupidest way that we had no papers, no apple, nothing. We had a magnifying glass and a straw. So we actually found this rock that had like a dugout hole in it. So we put a bunch of our weed in there, busted it up, and we sat in the scorching sun, and we each had a straw, and I would set it on fire with the magnifying glass, and we'd just sit there like this. Fucking worked, I'll tell you. It worked. Probably the stupidest way we've ever done it, but it worked. No, but that's the thing. Greens, we couldn't even find a damn aluminum can. Like, that's what was happening. So we found that little stone and we had a magnifying glass. It's like we didn't have anything, but we had a magnifying glass. It worked, man. We used McDonald's plastic straws. To be fair, it must have looked weird. Bunch of fucking kids like sitting in an alley in the sun with like each like around this rock together with like McDonald's straws, and then one kid with the fucking magnifying glass. Oh fuck, we must have looked dumb. We must have looked dumb. I mean, it worked, but it was dumb. Like, it was functional, it just really dumb. Oh shit, that's funny. Dirty party jam. Wow. Excuse me. Where are my darts? There we go. Well, that's right. I mean, Stoney, that's why we're a creative people. Dankness. Well, in Canada, we've got the paper straws, yes. The only people who somehow seem to be still using plastic straws in Canada are like McDonald's. And I'm like, how is like McDonald's getting away with this? Because like the rest of the country, for the most part, has switched to paper straws. A high-end paper straw doesn't ruin your drink. Doesn't last very long. But hey, it's better than a plastic one, I guess. But at the end of the day, just drink it without a straw. And if it gets messy, well, that's part of the fun. I love it. Roman Reckless. Okay, I need a tin can, a fruit roll-up, and a snorkel. Now, here's the skill testing question, everyone. Why does he need a fruit roll-up? I'll let you guess. I know what it's used for, because we did the same thing. But do you all know? Who can guess what the fruit roll-up's for? Right? No, exactly, Genex. Well, if it's that thick, though, trying to suck it through a straw anyway is just going to blow out my eardrum. So just, hey, go for it. Yeah. Glue, a seal. Exactly. There you go. Nicole got it. You got to give it to the young stoner kids, man. Like, fuck, we got to admit, we were fucking creative to find a way to smoke the pot, you know? We were fucking creative. You gotta love it. What's up, Wild Enterprise? Good to see you, my friend. Well, my friends, I hope everyone is having a beautiful, wonderful Valentine's Day. This has been the Valentine's Day Sunday show. I've had fun. I've really enjoyed this one. I think it was good. I enjoyed us just chilling out and all chatting and then having the nostalgia of different ways of doing stupid shit over the years, and we got to talk about pot history a bit. That was fun in terms of genetics and stuff. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. And also, to remember, everyone, we're much closer to Lab 2 now than we've yet to be so far. Keep us in your positive thoughts, and we will be busting beans soon. Anyway, everybody, remember to check out the Potsquatch Growers CBD line. Check out our lighting brand. And you can check out our pretend store. We will hopefully have that fixed for the hats and t-shirts and all of that at the new lab. I'm going to get right on that once we move in and get all this house stuff done. But for now, you can still grab your CBDs. You still grab your grow lights. You can still be rocking and rolling hard on that one. So anyway, check all that out, everybody. Much love to each and every one of you. Have a beautiful V-Day, as it were. And keep it real. If you're by yourself, you're not alone. You've got all of us. We are a community and a family. And if you're with the others that you love, may you all have a beautiful day as well. We stand together. I love you, motherfuckers. Keep it real. Keep it sexy. Keep it Potsquatch. Peace.